Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am back with a brand new video. I got 4 stories for you guys. If you're new to my channel, this channel is Save Our Children TV. That's to be Save Our Children, not Save Our Children. And we talk about the importance. It's really important that we save our children. Our first story is out of hold on. Okay, we won't accept that. Okay, let me tell you the story. This story happened in Philadelphia, and this happened at Sesame Place. And Sesame Place faces backlash after character appears to ignore black children. So here's the backstory. A mother, hold on. A mother took a mother from New York City took her daughter and niece, who are both 6 years old, to Sesame Place in Philadelphia. The character walked by and ignored the children. So it says here, New York City. A family accusing Sesame Place of discrimination spoke publicly at a press conference in New York and called for the firing of the employee seen in the viral video with the 2 girls. Jody Brown posted a video over the weekend showing her daughter Skylar Brown, 6, and her niece Nyla Brown, 6, being ignored by a Sesame Place character while children of other races were greeted. The video has since been viewed more than 750,000 times on Instagram since Brown posted it on her personal page. After the release of the video, celebrities and public figures began speaking out calling for Sesame Place to address the video. The theme park issued an apology on Instagram saying the performer portrayed the Rosetta character has confirmed that the no-hand gesture seen several times in the video was not directed to any specific person, rather it was a response to multiple requests from someone in the crowd who asked Rosetta to hold up their child for a photo, which is not permitted. The apology was not well received and more families began coming forward with allegations and videos alleging similar experiences at the park. In a second apology, the theme park said it will conduct training for employees to deliver a more inclusive, equitable, and entertaining experience to guests. On Wednesday, Jody and Nyla Brown were presented at a press conference with their attorney, B.I.B. Lamar, and activist Tamika Mallory of Mental Freedom. Lamar said numerous families contacted his office and the office of Ben Crump with videos and details of similar disciplinary experiences at Sesame Place. He shut down allegations that public appearances are about money and said it is about getting justice for the children who were harmed and humiliated. Today is about our future, and we truly and genuinely would believe that the children are our future. We must continue to protect them at all costs, Lamar said. He went on to say that it should not have taken a viral video for the theme park to address harm. We came to learn that what took place Saturday is not an anomaly, but what we've seen is business. So it's usual to deny and defend and delay accountability, he said. An incident like this should not have gone viral for the harm to be properly addressed by cooperation in this country. Lamar says the actions by the theme park character were intentional and that racism will not be tolerated in policing, healthcare, schools, or at theme parks. Mallory began her statements by reading a Smithson magazine article about the history of Sesame Street and its purpose of creating positive images for black children. We are not here today because we are just upset about something that happened at a park, Mallory said. We are here because the history of what the park is supposed to represent has been denigrated. She said discrimination must be rooted out, and her organization, Mental Freedom, has issued a warning to black families to be careful about supporting organizations that mistreat the black community. Our children will not be disrespected, she said. We will not leave our children undressed and unprotected, and therefore we are here today because we want to send a notice not just to Sesame Place, but to all of the theme parks across the country, that if you are found to be participating in discriminatory behavior against our people, we will drag your name through the mud. Lamar and Mallory also called for the firing of the employee involved in the non-viral incident, alleging the company's release statements were not enough. The attorney said they did not want to file a lawsuit against the theme park because they did not want to have the two girls go through litigation. When asked by Park 29 Job Code what could be done to make it right, Lamar announced a list of demands and included the firing of the employee and a formal apology. Lamar said his office is preparing to release evidence that directly contradicted Sesame Place claim that the theme park character said no to another individual and not to girls. But they are giving the park another chance to rectify the issue before it's released. He confirmed that the park did reach out to his office, but said they are not able to find a time to speak. According to Jody Brown, she tried to speak to park management as soon as the incident took place, but was told a supervisor was not available to speak with her. Loran said the park has since reached out asked for him to return to the park. Sesame Place had an opportunity to see that video at that time. They chose to reject it. They chose to dismiss the family, Lamar said. So we're going to invite the family back now. No, we won't accept that. I'm going to show you the now viral video of what happened. Then I'm going to give my input on my opinion. Fair use, by the way.
If you can't get enough of us on TV, oh, now you can find us right there in your
I don't use ads.
Let's try to wrap up this story for this morning anyway. In Bucks County, the Chesapeake Place is still facing some backlash over a video that shows a popular character snubbing two little girls who wanted simply a high five or maybe a hug from the character.
So we first showed you this yesterday morning. Here's a video.
These two girls says it shows Sesame Place character Rosie shaking hands and high-fiving the crowd, but then waving her daughters off when she got to them. Now, and since this video's gone out, a lot of people reacted to it, and then other people started sharing their experiences at Sesame Place. Several other parents, and this one is from the mom. She says that her stepdaughter missed out on a high five from Rosina. You can see the character left, and the girl, she was left hanging. And then Rosina went on to hug the kid right next to her. The mom says when she saw the video of the two little girls over the weekend, it felt familiar.
You see it happening repeatedly to the same type of children, so it's obviously something. Like, I really think it's in that category of discrimination and racism.
And when she says of the same category, she means black and brown children. Sesame Place already responded with a statement when the first video was shared, insisting that it was a misunderstanding, saying they have a policy that the characters are not allowed to pick up children, and that the character had received multiple requests to do that, so the character was trying to wave off and say no to that, plus low visibility in the costume. But then, and they say also that the brand park workers also stand for inclusivity and equality. And then they had released a second statement because more parents were, releasing videos of what happened with their kids, and the reaction was growing. And in the second statement, they repeated an apology, and they say that they're taking actions to do better. And part of that, they say they're going to do a bias training. And they ended it off by saying they'll do better at making sure children and families feel special, seen, and
Talk about
Okay, number one, Sesame Place needs to do a better job at hiring people who are professionally trained. You gotta do better training your characters. I'm sorry, because this is poor behavior, right? You have characters walking by, acknowledging other race, and walking by black people. And if that's not bad enough, we're already going through racism in this country. So to see something like that, this is the thing. Know who you hire. Do a thorough background of these characters. Because obviously, and this is my opinion, this character is racist. It's in the video. If this character did this multiple times to other families, I'm sorry. It's what it is. This character is obviously racism. And the excuse that I'm hearing is he couldn't see. He can see. Because what he could have done was kneel down on his knees and literally shook the children's hands, hugged the children. There's other options. But the option this character took was very, really low. And it shows you that you gotta be careful and do a thorough background check into these places because they say they're family friendly places, but they're really not. I would have never took, and I'm not blaming the mother. I think me personally, I would have never took my children there if I would have knew in the first place that it was not the first time this character did this. Because it seems like this place is racist. And what I don't get is to ignore or just walk by children who are simply trying to enjoy themselves. I don't understand what possessed people to be so ignorant. It don't get you nowhere. If you don't like the job you're doing, you don't work in a public setting. But because you chose to do this character and walk from from one side of the park to the other side of the park, you should have some morals to do your job the correct way. You feel everybody. You feel the communities, the black communities. This is, in my opinion, was racist. Because in the video, you see this character dab up a white child and a white man, and then you see the character just walk past the two black children. I'm sorry. When I was reading the article, it said that the mother said that in her attorney said that she don't want to sue the park itself because she don't want to have her children go through all this legal process. You know what I'm saying? I agree, and then I disagree. I think sometimes we gotta make an example out of these people. I would have sued because you can't continue standing by. You can't continue standing by and seeing ignorant people walk on by and treat us any type of way. It just don't work like that. And this is my opinion.
Did you take the room?
What?
The room.
I'm glad that the mother decided not to go back there because truly I wouldn't want to step back in that park either. You know what I'm saying? I think that there should be some type of a lawsuit, and that character needs to publicly, face to face, apologize to those children and to that mother who had to endure such ignorance from you. And let me tell you something. You gotta be careful with some of these characters. They seem and look nice, but then they would betray you and basically expose themselves. See, this is the thing. The mother came all the way from New York City to Pennsylvania to come and see, or Pittsburgh to come see the character in the parade. You know, and it's sad that racism still goes on, and we gotta end it. You know what I'm saying? We gotta stop the racism. I would only wish that Ben Crump, if I would only wish that Ben Crump was the family attorney, because if he was, he would have definitely did a lawsuit and sued not only the pipe, but sued that person who's in that character suit. We gotta, you know what I'm saying? We can't stand by and see children being, you know what I'm saying, tarnished like that. That was so racist that that character needs to be fired. He needs to lose his job. Because what are you doing? You have the nerve to just walk by children like it's nothing. You know, into Sesame Place. Y'all need to do 100% better job hiring respectable people. Because who are you hiring? Date bags off the streets? Come on now. That's just common sense. I mean, I would have never, and I could tell you that the person in that suit obviously is a white person. I'm just gonna put it out there. Obviously a white person in that suit. And he or she, I'm pretty sure it's a he, needs to be fired for what he did. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me what you think about this story in the comment section. It was her 6-year-old daughter and her 6-year-old niece. My fault. But tell me what you think about this story and tell me what would you have done if this happened to your children. Thank you so much for watching. And we're going to move on with our next story. Story number 2. Woman is shot by boyfriend while trying to run away, dragged into garage. This is the suspect. Memphis, Tennessee. New details have emerged in a Cordova shooting after officers said Byron Pipkin killed his girlfriend and barricaded himself in a Memphis hotel. The shooting happened Thursday in the 1000 block of Crosswood Lane. One woman, identified as Marquita Thomas, was shot and pronounced dead at the hospital. Detectives later found out that Thomas and her boyfriend, Byron Pipkin, got into an argument at their home. Court documents state that one witness saw Pipkin shoot Thomas as she tried to run out of the garage. When Thomas collapsed in the front yard, officers said Pipkin, 33, dragged her back into the garage before going into the home and telling a 6-year-old girl to come with him. Pipkin then reportedly fled the scene with the 6-year-old. Police said Pipkin then called 911 and told operatives to find the person who shot his girlfriend. He allegedly claimed that another man was the shooter during the 911 call, but officers later determined that Pipkin was the shooter. Officers also said Pipkin dropped off the 6-year-old girl at an acquaintance's home before leaving the area. Pipkin was found one day after the shooting in the Economy Inn on Kinchin Road after police received a tip on his whereabouts. The sheriff's office said Pipkin barricaded himself and refused to come out of the room. After they gave verbal commands, Pipkin's loved ones also showed up to assist investigators. Police said Pipkin walked out of the room 2 hours later and was taken into custody. According to court documents, Pipkin was previously convicted for aggravated assault in 2012. He is now being charged with first-degree murder, convicted felon in possession of a handgun, domestic assault, and existing arrest warrants. Pipkin is expected to appear in court on July 5th. Number 1, I'm going to show you his picture again. What do you see on his neck? Tattoos. Never did a thug with tattoos. I don't care if he had a small tattoo. They always end up a criminal. This is a thug with multiple tattoos. He obviously in the game because you can see the number 5 with the star. Number 2, there's a good chance that a background check could have saved her life. A background check. Because it takes maybe 30 minutes to do a background check. You know, I don't understand why women date men with criminal history and refuses to do a simple background check. He's a career criminal. Why would you be in a relationship with that? With a person that is no good for you, always in jail, and abusive. If you enter abusive relationships with or without children, get out of it for the sake of you and for the sake of the children. Then he takes a 6-year-old to an acquaintance's house. And for what reason? after killing your girlfriend. And the one thing about career criminals, after they commit their crimes, is they go hiding. Hide in hotels, motels, their house, in Quentin's house. You know, I don't understand why you hiding. You bold enough to commit a crime. You bold enough to be walking down the street every day. You should be bold enough to turn yourself in. I don't understand why you commit crimes and can't turn yourself in. That's the problem with society. We commit crimes on a day-to-day basis, but then run from the law enforcement. Turn yourself in when you commit a crime, because you're doing taxpayers a job and an easy task, which is not going to look for you. Just turn yourself in and do your time. We're in our third story. Tell me what you think about that previous story. And it's crazy all around. We're in our third story. Houston mother is sentenced to 40 years for beating her 5-year-old daughter to death with a belt, DA says. This is her with the red head, and this is her child who she beat to death with a belt. Look at this precious angel and tell me what y'all think that this child have done to deserve to get beaten with a belt and killed. Here's the article. A woman was sentenced to serve 40 years in prison after beating her 5-year-old daughter to death with a belt and lying about it, according to the Harris County District Attorney's Kim Ive. Andrea Webb, 24, was found guilty in September for the first-degree felony of injury to a child. In 2019, Webb called police and told them her daughter, Samantha Bell, fell from the family's second-story apartment in Southwest Houston, according to prosecutors. During the investigation, police found that Samantha suffered from bruises all over her body. When Webb was asked about the bruises, she admitted she lied and made up the story because she was scared that she would be charged with murder, prosecutors said. Webb also admitted that she reportedly beat her daughter with belts and made her sit against the wall without support of a chair for hours at a time, and would beat her if she would not do the wall sits, according to prosecutors. It was revealed that Samantha had died from a constellation of old and new blunt force injuries, including pattern and looped scars, contusions, and lacerations that resulted in a pulmonary fat embolism, acute kidney injury, and evidence of systematic stress response, according to Assistant District Attorney Gilbert Sartelli, who prosecuted the case and is a chief in the DA's child fatality section. The little girl's body just couldn't take it anymore, Sartelli said. Webb and her boyfriend, Devin Gibson, were both children of the most vulnerable and most innocent victims that we see in the criminal justice system, and her parents' duty is to protect them, not violently beat them. Sad. It is always mom and mom's boyfriend. Number one, I would have to ask. It's very important to have the biological father in these children's lives. Because now you're bringing a boyfriend, your new boyfriend, by the way, around your children. And he's doing the same exact thing you're doing. So you beat a child to death with a belt, later sit against the wall without any support. And I'm assuming your boyfriend was also doing the same thing. In his case, it's still pending, and he was found guilty and got 40 years. I don't understand for the life of me why people have children. Stop having children for the benefits and the money of these children. You gotta start taking responsibility. You know what I'm saying? If you can't be a suitable parent, then don't have children. Because now you're having children and you're also having children out of wedlock. Taking advantage of children for the benefits from that child. This mother should have got more than 40 years in prison. I want to know this, and I know y'all probably want to know this too. What did Samantha Bell do that was so vicious and bad that caused you to beat her to death with a belt and leave bruises and lacerations all over her body? Let's mind you, this child is 5 years old. This child could not advocate for herself. This child could tell a suitable adult. So what you did was beat your kid with a belt until she couldn't take it no more and died from her injuries. Now, you should have got 40 years to life, if anything. You should have got a natural life sentence. What you did was vicious and heinous. And I'm pretty sure he's gonna get a lot of time, probably more than 40 years. She only got 40. She should get more time, and he and the boyfriend definitely need time. Now, so this mother is 24 years old. This is my opinion. Any parent that is 24 and younger should not have children. Because you don't know what you're doing. You can't even raise yourself. So how can you raise a human being? This mother needs life in prison because 40 years is not it. I would have definitely retried this case and gave her more time if I was the judge. Matter of fact, if I was the judge, she would have got 40 years in prison. She would have got life in prison without the possibility of parole and probation. And if they couldn't push that, 50 to 80 years in prison. This woman is heinous, the devil, and she needs time in prison. To a 5-year old, let's work fine, man. To a 5-year old Samantha Bell, to a 5-year old Samantha Bell, I am sorry that you had to adore this pain that was inflicted on you. I'm sorry that you couldn't live a normal life. I'm sorry that you didn't have suitable parents. I'm sorry that your mother chose her boyfriend over you. Obviously, you are worth everything in this world. You are worth everything. Your mother took advantage of you, abused you, and to 5-year-old Samantha Bell, rest in peace. You deserve the torture, the beating that you got. You know, you are a beautiful and pretty angel. And may you continue resting easy in peace. To the mother, Andrea Webb, I hope you get what's coming to you in prison. I hope that you put in population. I hope that the inmates tear you out of a frame each and every day. And in 40 years you're going to prison. I hope they are painful. I really wish you got more time. You don't need any of the children. You should have got life. And to your petty ass boyfriend, I hope you get life in prison. Or I hope you get a really long time in prison. Yeah, both are real, deserve to be in and is behind bars. Thank you guys so much for watching the story. We are on our. Okay, and tell me what you think about this story in the comments and your opinion. We had our fourth and last story. Our last story is another sad story, crazy story. This story is out of Colorado. A Colorado funeral home owner accused of selling body parts pleads guilty. Megan Hughes faces a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison after pleading guilty to federal mail fraud. A Colorado funeral home operator accused of illegally selling body parts and giving clients fake ashes has pleaded guilty to mail fraud in federal court. The Daily Sentinel reports that Megan Hughes faced a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison after entering a plea Tuesday in Grand Junction. Other charges against his will be dropped under a plea agreement, the Sentinel said. He's 45 and her mother, Shirley Koch, operated the Sunset Mesa Funeral Home in Montrose. They were arrested in 2020 and charged with six counts of mail fraud and 3 counts of illegal transportation of hazardous materials. A grand jury indictment said that from 2010 through 2018, Hess and Koch offered to cremate bodies and provide the remains to families at a cost of $1,000 or more, but many of the cremations never occurred. Hess had created a nonprofit organization in 2009 called Sunset Mesa Funeral Foundation as a body broker service doing business as donor services, authorities said. On dozens of occasions, Hayes and Koch transferred bodies or body parts to third parties for research without families' knowledge, according to the U.S. Justice Department. The transfers were done throughout Sunset Mesa Funeral Foundation and donor services, authorities said. Hess and Koch also shipped bodies and body parts that tested positive for or belong to people who died from infectious disease, including hepatitis B and C and HIV, despite certifying to buyers that remains the disease-free, authorities said. Both Hess and Koch originally had pleaded not guilty to charges. Hess is tentatively set to be sentenced in January. A change of plea hearing for Koch is scheduled for July 12. Prosecutors recommend a sentence for Hess of 12 to 15 years. Now, I am sorry, but if this was 2 male, and I'm talking about 2 black males, who did this and ran this type of scheme, they would have got the next 40 to 60 years in prison. I'm sorry, why do women get a slap on the wrist when it comes to plea deals or just flat out sentences? I'm sorry, this was a heinous crime. You're selling body parts, human remains. People trust you with their loved ones, and this is what you do. I'm sorry, they should be getting the next decade in prison. This was heinous and evil and ignorant and rude to family members who had loved ones in this funeral home. There should be some type of harsh penalty for this. To disrespect people's loved ones in that fashion, and you telling me 20 years is the highest you can go in a case in a male fraud, when men get more time for murder than a female, and you tell me these women can get at least 30 years in prison? This is male fraud. To do with human bodies being sold illegally, and you get possibly a 20-year sentence? I'm sorry, I couldn't be a judge. You would hate me, but you at least getting 50 to 99 years in prison. Because this is bold. It's bogus and ignorant. And we need to start setting example for funeral home directors and federal home owners who think that they can just run illegal schemes and scams. I'm sorry, but they need time. Give them serious time for this. Throw out the 20-year agreement and come up with a better number than 20 years. Because that's not it. Tell me what type of sentence they should get. Tell me if you was the judge, what sentence would you give? What sentence would you give them? I would have went with anywhere from 30 to 99 years because this is something that needs to be said. This is something that needs to be brought to the table. This ain't just some, breaking and entering case. We're talking about human remains being sold illegally. We're talking about people's family members. So the judge, the prosecutors should care enough, and these attorneys, and whoever else prosecuting this case, and the juries should take this case seriously and give a harsh penalty. I can't be the jury, I can't be the judge, I can't be the defense attorney, I can't be anybody because you've been going up state for a very long time. This ain't, it's not a game. These are people, loved ones, who deserve to be respected under your care. So I'm saying, please, whoever prosecuted this case needs to throw away this 20-year agreeable sentence and correct with a serious sentence. And that sentence will let other funeral homes owners and let them know that this is not a game. We are prosecuting you for being harmful to human remains. Because we trust you to take good care of our loved ones. It's just that simple. It ain't rocket science. It's just that simple. It's time for us to take a stand and get ignorance out of society. Because ignorance is not going to help us in the future. It's not. Turn to Multi Stories, like, comment, subscribe, turn notification on, turn the bell on. Leave me some comments down below and tell me about these stories, sad stories. But these stories need people like me, people like you, and other YouTubers to advocate. We need to advocate and get justice for people who harm our children, people who discredit our children, be ignorant to our children, be ignorant to the people we love, damage reputations. How much I think about this story? Thank you.